Alright, time to get some footage, Gonna get... Are you fucking for it? You know what? Great start, guys. Just great start.
Hello there.
Hello everybody, today I'm going to be teaching you how to play Jhin. So first and foremost, why play Jhin among any other ADCs? Why the virtuoso? Why this guy that has to reload his gun? Well, first and foremost, this guy has one of the best walking animations right here. Look at that goddamn swag, strutting his stuff. Number 2, everything he does packs a punch. Whatever you build on him, he's gonna pack a punch. He just feels so powerful. I love it. Number 3, he's my favorite ADC. He is one of my most beloved ADCs in League PC. I love him. He's super fun there. Number 4, his voice. His goddamn voice. Just listen to him. Listen to him.
In carnage, I bloom like a flower in the dawn. The stage is set. Our performance begins.
Cool. I told you guys, his voice is pretty cool. Now, some of you may find his voice off-putting, you might find it creepy and all that stuff. Personally, I love his voice, I love his design, I love everything about him. This psycho just whispering in your ear, everything is art. I love that design, it's so cool. And if you're interested in his lore, I'll link into the description Necrit's video on lore. I highly suggest taking a visit over to Necrit's channel. TLDR, he is an Ionian serial killer turned into an assassin, and he has some pretty interesting interactions with Zen and Shin. So I'll just let the video of Necrit speak for itself, or you can read it on I don't remember where it is. I think it's on Riot's what's it called, League page. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, why am I making this video? Doesn't Bricky Orchidate, doesn't Yako, doesn't Frost Prime, doesn't MagikarpUsedFly, doesn't Darkk Mane have this video already, or this kind of video, or a type of video like this? And to you, sir, I say... Well, yeah, but it's not made by a Filipino, and it's not on mobile, so fuck you. With that out of the way, let's begin with his first ability, his passive. So Jhin's passive is Whisper. Jhin's hand cannon Whisper carries 4 shots before needing to be reloaded and fires at a fixed fire rate. Attack speed will be converted into attack damage. The final bullet will critically strike and deal bonus execute damage. Whenever Whisper crits, Jhin gains a burst of 3% movement speed for a flat 10% plus 0.4 per 1% bonus AD for 2 seconds. So this is what makes Jhin Jhin, aside from his ultimate, well, I think anyway. This is what separates him from the ADCs because of his interesting reload mechanic. Unlike Graves, however, which can basically match other ADCs' attack speed due to attack speed increasing his reload, Jhin does not play like that. He plays it slow, but he packs a massive punch. This is what it looks like a late game if you get hit by a Jhin. So Whisper is what makes Jhin such a scary AD carry champion to face, whether in a 1v1 or in a team fight. Use your movement speed to your advantage. Either you run away and kite someone to death with your movement speed, or you run someone down like the dog they are. Now, your 4th shot. Some players respect this, some players don't. If a player does not respect it, harass him with it. They're not gonna expect the damage. It's a free crit with missing health damage. It's super good. For the players that do respect it, incorporate some mind games. Zone them off of CS and key objectives and things like Honey Fruit, and yeah, you'll be good to go. Now, the reload mechanic may work against your favor, but we're gonna come up to our first ability, which may or may not help you mitigate this problem. So Jhin's first ability is Dancing Grenade. Jhin launches a magical cartridge at an enemy, dealing 69 physical damage with a flat 45 plus 40% AD plus a 60% AP ratio before bouncing to a nearby target that has not yet been hit. It can hit up to 4 targets and gain 35 damage each time it kills. This is basically your farming tool and main poking ability. It helps you with CSing in between your auto attacks, and when you're reloading, it helps you harass people. When you stack it up right, it's going to do a lot of damage, and yeah, it helps with wave clear as well. So when used properly, it should look something like this. Alright, maybe not the greatest use of the ability, but anyway, this is your CSing tool, your poking tool, and your combo filler. As a CSing tool, as you saw there, it can hit a bunch of creeps, it can push in the minion wave, it can start freezes, all that fun stuff, blah blah blah. You know how CSing tools work. As a combo filler, in between auto attacks or when you're reloading. A weird trend I see players do is when they have the forward shot and only the forward shot, they grenade first, and I get this idea. Yeah, you want to maximize the Whisper's passive, but if you can't land both, just please go for the forward shot. But when you can land both, yeah, go for this combo. It's basically your max damage combo without your second ability, which we are going to get into. I'm gonna have an aneurysm with these abilities. Anyway, Jhin's second ability is Deadly Flourish. Jhin fires a long-range shot that stops on the first champion hit, dealing 79 physical damage. Basically, this is a 50 flat plus 50% of your AD to it, and 50% of that damage to minions and monsters hit along the way. If the target champion was struck by Jhin, Jhin's allies or Lotus Traps, within the last 4 seconds, they are rooted for 1 second, and Jhin gains movement speed as though he had crit them. Jesus Christ, every ability of Jhin is a paragraph and a half with the weirdest scalings. For fuck's sake, why did I choose to make a video on this champion? Ugh. Anyway, if it's marked, it's gonna get rooted. If it's not marked, it's just gonna take damage. You can use this to shove in creeps, you can use this to confirm CS, you can use this to check Bush, you can use this to check Dragon, you can use this to check Baron, all that fun stuff with the long range move. Anyway, I'm gonna show you a clip of what it should look like in-game with the mark. Hey there, so yeah, anyway, as you saw, it's not really that crazy of an ability. It's your CC ability, but it's not that grand of a CC anyway. Use it to pick off stragglers, use it to set up some gangs, use it to catch some CS, use it to face check, use it to check objectives as well, all that fun stuff. This is, I believe, the longest basic ability skill shot in the game. I'm not 100% sure, please correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, I usually level this up second, whether I'm AD or I'm AP, because I always level up Dancing Grenade first. And I don't really like maxing my flowers, even though it's an okay tool. I don't like maxing my flowers, even when I'm AP, actually. I just like the wave push this can give and the catching out ability it offers. Anyway, let's move on to Jhin's third ability, which is... So Jhin's third ability is Captive Audience. Jhin places an invisible Lotus Trap that reveals nearby enemies when walked over. It slows enemies by 45% before dealing 90 magic damage via 20 flat, plus 120% AD ratio, plus 100% AP ratio. Subsequent hits deal 65% damage. When Jhin kills an enemy champion, a Lotus Trap will spawn and detonate where they were killed. So you know the drill already. I'll show you a clip of what it looks like in-game.
Yes, it worked!
So, as a damage ability, it's a landmine. Honestly, I don't suggest you relying on this. It's super unreliable. People can walk out of it, but you can stack it though. It's not noted in the description for Wildrift, but it stacks in the counter and in-game too. So yeah, that's a little tidbit for you. Anyway, I use it as a ward and I use it as deterrence for gankers. Deterrence for gankers because it's a slow and it marks them with the root. And yeah, as a ward because it gives vision. Anyway, don't use this as a main damage ability unless you're playing AP Jhin, in which case, good luck to you. Let's talk about Jhin's final ability, his ultimate. So, Jhin's ultimate is Curtain Call. Jhin channels to fire 4 super shots at extreme range in a cone. The shots stop on the first champion hit, slowing it by 80% for 0.75 seconds and dealing 62 physical damage via 50 flat plus 20% AD ratio, increased by 1% for each 2.5% missing health the target is missing. The fourth shot crits for 100% 50 damage. Side note, it's not listed, the projectiles goes through creeps, so yeah, you can wave clear with this. Anyway, you know how it goes, I'll show you a clip how it looks in-game, blah blah blah.
Carnage, I bloom like a flower in the dawn. The stage is set.
So yeah, if you're wondering why I didn't get actual gameplay footage of it, I can't land this ability to save my life on this platform. I don't know why. This is a godforsaken ability. I have like 6 to 7 games with Jhin. All of them I recorded. All of them have terrible ultis. Please don't ask me to get recordings for Jhin's ulti. It's so difficult. I'm so sorry. But yeah, anyway, this is meant to be an execute move, but you can use it to engage fights. A little tip. The most important shot is the first shot because once you slow them, all the shots should land subsequently unless you're like me who has terrible aim. Anyway, the last shot is also one of the most damaging abilities Jhin has, so if you land it on a low HP target, yeah, they're probably gonna be dead, so use this to catch people out or engage fights or just burst someone down if you're that fed. Anyway, this is how you play Jhin, let's move. Alright, let's talk about runes, items, all that fun stuff. First, let's talk about my rune page. This is my preferred rune page. I like Fleet Footwork, Triumph, Spirit Walker, Sweet Tooth. Fleet Footwork gives me that HP at 100 stacks and also gives me some movement speed. Triumph gives me health on kill and makes me do more damage against low targets. Spirit Walker, slow resist and some health. Sweet Tooth, more health on honey fruits and gives me some gold on honey fruits as well. Since there are no pots, you're going to be using honey fruits for your laning phase and just health in general. So this rune page is designed to keep you alive throughout the laning phase and help you stay alive at the later stages of the game. I like survivability on Jhin because he is super squishy and he has no escapes. His CC is pretty bad too, not the greatest, so you can't really peel for yourself too effectively. So some people also like taking Electrocute. I don't really recommend this unless you want more damage, in which case, yeah, I'm gonna show you the rune page of Electrocute I take. Personally, I'm not a fan of it, but yeah, if you want more damage, that's always an option. So for the builds, Jhin typically has an AD and AP variant. Here is the variations of the AD build I do. So yeah, that's what I usually build. You can swap out whatever you like. You can swap out the boot enchantment, you can swap out the boot itself, you can swap out some AD items. It's up to you what variation you want to use and what you want to replace. This is just a recommendation and what I like to use. Now I'll show you the AP build, but please, I really don't recommend it. It's so difficult to use. Anyway, if you've played AP Jhin before on PC, you know how difficult it is to set up the traps, but if you haven't, I don't advise this build. It can be fun sometimes, but overall, just play crit for the most effective version of Jhin or any variation of the AD Jhin build. Anyway, for the last part of this guide, I'm gonna teach you or just give you some general tips on how to play Jhin at every stage of the game. So early game as an ADC, whether you're in a dual lane or in a support lane, just farm up and be safe. Get kills when you can, harass when you can. If you can get a CC chain, go for it. But I advise you just play smart, play safe, get your items. Jhin isn't really good at extended trades. He's good at quick trading. So yeah, get your grenades in, especially at low health minions. And yeah, get your deadly flourishes in. Just be smart, be safe. Let's move into mid game. Right, so in mid-game, what I said in the early game still applies, but this time you can be a bit more ballsy. Generally, you have 1 to 2 items, your team's looking to skirmish. Try to go for objectives, try to rotate around the map, especially if you get the first tower. Go along with your team and just go for stragglers. You do a lot of burst damage and you do a lot of execute damage, so you're really good at cleaning up fights. So yeah, you can get an advantage off that and go for things like Dragon and maybe some neutral camps in the enemy jungle. Anyway, again, be smart, be safe. Get the damage when you can, don't be too greedy, but you can play a bit more ballsy this time because of the items you have, because you probably have completed your boots as well and you have your crit item. Also in this stage of the game, don't be afraid to initiate with your ult. Usually early game you reserve it for low HP targets. Now you can catch people out since you're skirmishing. The slow is super helpful for your teammates to catch up, and you can chain CC with your deadly flourish and pick up a kill or two depending on how you play the team fight or the mini skirmish. Anyway, let's move on to the late game. Now, again, let me just restate, please keep safe. You're an AD carry, you're going to be doing a lot of damage, but you cannot peel for yourself. You're going to be blowing your summoners probably, and that's very crucial in the late game. But don't be scared to punish out of position squishies. Against the Jhin, squishies are insta-killable, so yeah, just play smart, play safe, as I've said before. But this time you can play a bit more ballsy because of how much damage you do and how fast you can kite. Contest objectives like towers and of course Baron at this game. If you can get Elder, get it, especially Elder Drake, the fire version. That's very good for Jhin, so much damage, and yeah, close the game out before things like a Jinx or other hyper carries get the chance to catch up. So yeah, that was my Jhin guide for newer players. I hope it helped. I hope you guys got something from it. I hope you guys learned something. And I hope this guide helps you get better at Jhin and of course get that challenger. And peace out, yo. More videos to come.